All right, guys, we're going to start our 1 p.m. panel. It's Diversity and Accessibility in Gaming. And my name is Johnny Steverson. I am the co-owner of the Galveston Island Esports Summit. But let's get started, and let's have Sherlana come up here first. Sherlana, if you want to join us on stage. And then next, I'd like to introduce Bradford Harris. He'll be here in a second. Let's, next we have AJ with Special Olympics Texas. AJ, you want to join us up on stage? And then we have Danny Martin with Esposure. Danny, if you'd like to join us. And in the back at his booth, joining us on camera, we have Kyle Abate with One Hand Mostly. You guys have to go talk to him about the awesome things he does. And then last but not least, we have Snow White with Dell Technologies joining us virtually this afternoon. Bradford?
Yes.
All right, and this is Bradford. Welcome. Thank you for joining us on stage. So we'll kick this off talking about diversity and accessibility in gaming. It's one of the most important things is diversifying and all-inclusive. So Sherlana, I'll kick this off with you. Talk about your experience with diversity in gaming.
I think for myself in particular, representation matters in gaming. It's really important for the next generation to see a diverse community in the gaming industry. For me in particular, I didn't grow up seeing a lot of female gamers, for example, so that's something that's really close to my heart, representing for the ladies as well. There's only about 2% of females that are in the esports industry, so I'd definitely like to see that number increase as time goes on. And I think diversity is something that's obviously very close to my heart with respect to the community itself. I think so also accessibility, making games accessible to everyone to play from all ages is really important. So definitely truly believe that there's more diversity that's needed. I play Call of Duty very professionally, and I'd love to see more females, a more diverse gaming community, especially in games like Call of Duty.
Yeah, we need more female esports players, we need more female game developers, we need more female astronauts, engineers, so that's spot on. Well, let's switch gears here. And Bradford, I would like you to introduce yourself and who you're with.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bradford Harris, and I heard somebody scream.
Got a fan club.
I am the director of learning for TexAF, Texas Classic Esports Federation, and I am actually a newly hired education strategist for SHI. So I'm fresh out of K-12. I was a coordinator of digital innovation, and so now I am an ed strategist for SHI, which basically means that I now cover the West Coast of the United States, helping design esports initiatives and digital learning initiatives for K-12 and higher education.
Awesome. And AJ, same question to you. Introduce yourself and tell everyone who you're with.
Yeah, so I'm AJ Batiste. I am here representing Special Olympics Texas. We started an esports program a little over a year ago during the pandemic, and so myself and some of my colleagues that are here today decided we wanted to come represent, but we serve over 50,000 athletes in the state, and so being able to provide programming like this in a time where we weren't able to be together was something that was really impressive for us and really special to us.
Awesome. And Danny, same thing for you. Introduce who you are and who you're with.
Hi, my name is Danny Martin. I am the co-founder and CEO of Esposure, which is a technology ed tech platform that's geared towards providing portfolio opportunities for students in the high school and also early college.
Awesome. And Kyle Abate, introduce yourself and tell everyone what you do and who you are.
Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Abbott, also go by One Hand Mostly here on the internet. I'm a content creator and gaming accessibility advocate. I create videos to inform people with disabilities on the gaming and like different settings and options so they can be able to understand what they can play and what they can't play before they buy the game and purchase, because I don't want them to buy a game for $60 or $70 and then figure out they can't play it later. So we try to inform gamers with disabilities on the gaming and settings in the games so they can play them.
All right, now let's switch backtrack. So let's go back to this. And Bradford, kind of elaborate on the diversity, accessibility in gaming and how you're involved in that aspect.
Well, I'm going to say first and foremost, I am a parent of two children who have graduated already out of K-12, and I got into this space because my concern was within the gaming industry and with esports, there wasn't anybody that either looked like me or looked like my children. We would watch conferences like E3 or on Twitch or G4 at the time, and there wasn't anybody that was relatable to me or to them. They understood gaming, but what did it look like for them to be in the space? So as I started doing more research and going to conferences like South by Southwest Gaming, I just started asking critical conversations when it came to the industry developers and other game industry people, and I would just simply ask, what are you doing for people who look like me? So, and to be honest, they did not have an answer. And I didn't mean to put them on the spot, but it is a legitimate concern because our students need to be in this space, especially even when it comes to creating character development and story arcs. When they see kids that are characters that don't even look like them, it's very concerning. And so by me asking those questions, I wanted to push myself to be involved in this a lot more and have that representation, even if it was just me piloting a program to be in the space. I do remember as a digital coach in the K-12 or an EdTech coach, it was the students who looked like me paid attention a lot more because they saw someone that was in EdTech and they were interested in saying, you know what, Mr. Harris, I want to do what you do. And so I felt that I needed to take on that charge and keep investigating more and more and more about what does it mean to be in this space. And not just for students of color, I'm looking at women, I'm looking for LGBTQ+, because that is also very important. And I'm still learning about what it means to be in this space and what that means to offer. For students that I serve too, I'm learning what it means for what type of games they play. Let's be honest, all the students that I serve or other students, they don't always play the Overwatches or the League of Legends. Sometimes they like to play the Maddens or NBA 2K, or maybe they like to play Just Dance. So I'm trying to look at what all does that look like to be in this space so that it is inclusive. So I'm glad that this panel exists so that it does expose what needs to happen. My own kids who are 18 and 19 constantly call me out and say these things need to happen because it's important. And so hopefully when they turn 42 like I am, that conversations like these won't exist.
Awesome, and we have one more panelist joining us virtually. We have Snow White with Dell Technologies. So Snow White, if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Sure. Wow, I could see myself on that screen. It's really big, but good to be here. Coming from Austin, Texas. I am also an ed strategist for Dell, and my role not only is working with schools all across the U.S. on their vision for teaching and learning, but also their strategy around esports. And as a female in the tech industry, I am kind of used to being the only female or one of the few females in the room. But I love that you're having this panel because as I observe my 10-year-old daughter who plays Fortnite and seeing the kind of comments she gets because she is a female playing. This is a conversation that we need to have often, and it needs to start early in the school system so that when they do get older, this generation does get older, hopefully we don't have to have this conversation about accepting all in esports.
Awesome. And Snow White, not only do you have a really cool name, but we want to give you a huge thank you for Dell Technologies being a sponsor and providing all of these Alienware laptops. I know you can't see it right now, but there are tons of people playing those games, experiencing new games. So we want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Dell Technologies. Thank you so much, Snow.
Thank you.
All right, AJ, if you'd like to talk about what your organization is doing to expand diversity and accessibility in gaming.
Yeah, and much like everybody else on the panel, we're always looking for a space for inclusion. So in our world, inclusion is our revolution. That is the next 50 years of Special Olympics. And the way we do that is through a program called Unified. And what that is essentially people with and without intellectual disabilities participating in a sport, event, esports together, and being able to participate as a team and really grow those friendships. Our inclusion program, especially at the school level, for those of you that are here, is built around the idea of everybody's being included. So, like you said, there are so many different types of people out there, and our traditional sports, people don't like to play sports, right? And so those people that don't like to play, football or basketball or whatever it is, they have a space now where they can participate in something that we do. And it really brings the entire school together and allows for everyone to have a better kind of lifestyle within the school. And so through esports, what we've done is we've built out our unified program through Rocket League and Fortnite. We play Madden, we play FIFA, we play some of those individual games, but we really focus in on being able to provide unified duo tournaments for our athletes and their partners. And we pair them up with Dice Air Force Base from time to time. We pair them up with some of our corporate partners. And so being able to provide that space for our athletes, but also the people around the world that don't necessarily want to get involved in other aspects of what we do at Special Olympics is just another opportunity for us.
Awesome. And Danny, same question. Talk about what Esposure is doing for diversity, expansion, and accessibility in gaming.
Yes, for sure. I love to talk about this. One of the coolest aspects that I recognized really early is when we had our esports facility in the downtown area of Dallas, we quickly recognized that individuals from affluent areas, individuals from different walks of life, individuals from economically disadvantaged areas will come to our facility. And then we was like, okay, how do we impact even more if we recognize that there are larger esports stadiums and the areas that are more affluent, and does that make it easier for individuals who are less affluent to be able to come to that facility? Yes, the question is yes. So if we had the opportunity to build a larger facility from an esports perspective in the southern sector, would we, one, survive because of the elements of low economically opportunities, or would it be something that we can thrive on? And I ultimately looked at it as an opportunity for thriving, due to the fact that esports is opportunity for a level playing field. You can be, you can be small in weight, you can be large in weight, you can be a different colored, you can have so many different backgrounds, and ultimately it's about how you perform on that particular game. If you want to get on that leaderboard, it's about what you put into it, and that's one of the coolest things about esports. I was an athlete in college, and I knew that my body type allowed me to be one of the best in my particular sports. I knew that. I also can work hard, but in esports, that's not so much of the case. You literally can be able to learn the meta of a game and really be good at that game. And it takes time and effort. So I ultimately look at building an esports facility. We end up building a 15,000 square foot esports arena in the southern sector of Dallas, an area where I grew up at. So I was ultimately looked at as like, wow, like this is a great opportunity to provide to our communities. And ultimately understanding that, having a space that showcases esports at its highest level, being a subject matter in this space, it gives the individuals in the community, the teachers, the councilmen, the actual students, the parents, an opportunity to see esports and see that this is something viable for their son or daughter or their student to participate in. So ultimately, I looked at impacting our communities, specifically the communities that I grew up in. It was a very critical need. And then I started to recognize there are communities all across the world that are experiencing the same exact things. So when I looked at building an actual technology platform with our team, it was ultimately like, how do we actually showcase to those students that it's possible, and they're looking at us as the same individuals that they can be in the future. And ultimately for us, that's one of the hugest things that we're focusing on, is making sure that our team is really diverse and we can still scale in this space and showcase to individuals that we are here, we're successful, we have opportunity, we're smart, we can have the ability to impact just like anybody else. And that's one of the biggest things that I hyperly focusing on, and I spread through our internal team about the impacts that you guys have when it comes down to representation. Representation matters, and ultimately this industry can be able to showcase so many different walks of life, and that's what's going to make us in this industry look that much more advanced than other industries, because of the elements of everyone being able to come together and be able to add value to a space, even from a competition perspective, but most importantly, a diversity, inclusive element, and just being represented amongst every individual. And that's one of the biggest focal points for us as a company, and we do that by way of our programs every single day. And every time that we have an opportunity to, do a program in a different area or build an esports facility, I'm automatically thinking about the impact that it's going to have for someone to understand that they're not behind the curve, but they have the greatest opportunity to be ahead of the curve, because that's the benefit that esports can provide.
Awesome. And we are honored to have Kyle Abate here. He does so much for the community and has a focus on accessibility in gaming and tests games for those with disabilities. So Kyle, please tell us a little bit more about your focus and what you do there.
Yeah, thank you. So I really kind of got into the content creation after working for 6 Foot. I was a QA tester on Dreadnought and Rhyme, and so I kind of tried to figure out how I wanted to take the gaming testing that I had learned from working for 6 Foot and kind of take it into accessibility and help people with disabilities get into the gaming. And so that's kind of how I created my channel, and I didn't really know a lot of people who created gaming content as far as focusing on accessibility. And so I create videos and do visual reviews and video reviews, as well as show people how I play games with my one hand. And with my voice, I use a program called Voice Attack, where I play games like League of Legends. I've been really into that, and some Rocket League and different other games, Fortnite as well. And I play with my voice, so I use a command like jump, and it'll say, hit the space bar, and then I'll jump and do different things like that. So it's a unique perspective, and to understand people that there's more than one way to play a game, and that we should all be included in the gaming space.
Awesome. And Snow White, same question. Tell us about what Dell is doing for diversity and accessibility in gaming.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I work with schools and understand what's their vision for the esports, for their esports program, and we always encourage them, think 3 year, don't think immediate needs, but what do you want this to look like in 3 years? And DEI, the diversity, equity, inclusion, always comes up. The problem is what I have found is a lot of times we talk about it, we talk that this is a problem, but what are the steps? They ask us, what should we actually do so that we are including others and making sure we have a diverse representation in our esports. And then one of the first things I talk to them about is voice and choice. Are you talking to the students, the people that will actually be a part of this program? How are they participating in what this is going to look like in a 3 year? And so we've actually, we'll be releasing soon in the next couple of months a playbook for schools to use around DEI and esports, so that there's actual steps that they can take. And so it's not just all of us on a panel talking about it, but we're actually hearing from those folks that will be playing in esports, and what do they want to see when it comes to DEI, and get their voice on it and have them shape the program. So hopefully we'll have that released soon, and that's really aligned with our whole moonshot goals here at Dell, is by 2030, we want 50% of our field to be female. And also of a diverse community. So it's something that we believe in as a company, and we also want to see it in schools. And so that's some of the things that we're looking at right now. But I always talk about voice and choice is so key when you think about an esports program in schools.
I said it once, I'll say it again. We need more females in gaming. We need more female game designers. We need more female astronauts, engineers, robotics instructors. Absolutely. So Danny, if someone or an organization wanted to get tips or advice on how they can diversify their organization, what would you share with them? What's a piece of advice you would give to an organization that's really looking to do that?
One, place individuals in positions to make change. One of the coolest things that individuals look at Esposure, which maybe not a lot of people know this, but our C-suite, our CMO, our COO, our CTO are all women, right? And this is a cool thing because it's been inspiring to see that, yes, they're women, but they have a skill set that is critical to the growth of any company in there. And if I looked at it from a perspective of women can't be in this space, there will not be a woman in those positions, because those are positions that can ultimately change the structure and the direction of your company. So ultimately, I found that there's a huge benefit of not only bringing women in the industry, but also bringing individuals that can make critical changes by way of the skill sets that they have. And that ultimately can help the actual world, but most importantly, the industry grow. So I think for any individuals, understanding, do not be scared of bringing in the individuals who do not look like you or do not share your same experiences, but they have skill sets that can help the actual industry grow. And ultimately, you'll look back and you'll be appreciative of that. Specifically, I'm able to speak on it on a panel. And that was a decision where I felt as if like, this is important because this industry has so many cool and smart and intelligent individuals from different backgrounds. And the most importantly is giving them an option, giving them a chance so they can showcase their skill sets and ultimately building their portfolios.
AJ, same question. What's a piece of advice you would give to an organization that's looking to diversify as well?
Well, when you look at it, you know, a lot of people look at diversity as race, you know, right off the bat, or gender right off the bat, but you've got to look at everything, right? And so being able to put people like that in positions, Tanny actually had one of our athletes drafted into this 2K league, which is just awesome, right? So being able to provide those opportunities for everybody across the world, including those with disabilities and intellectual disabilities, is always important. And I think that, you know, best advice I can give is to be flexible. You know, we didn't know what we were doing when we started. We had no clue. We started with phone games. And so now we've built up to a point where we're even able to attend this conference. And it's because we listened to what our athletes were wanting. So listen to your constituents, listen to the people that are around you, and take those ideas in and actually turn those around and make them something by being flexible.
Awesome, awesome. And Bradford, same question to you. What's a piece of advice you'd give to an organization or company that's looking to diversify?
The one thing I'm going to say, or a couple things I'm going to say, is it's okay to be uncomfortable. You want to be uncomfortable in this space. You don't have to know everything. In fact, this industry is changing every single day. And just like this panel that's up here, it has to look different. You have to surround yourself with people who have different values, different missions, different objectives. And it's okay that you disagree. You want to be able to have constructive conversations, and it's okay to disagree, because we're all in this space to make sure that it's equitable for all, it's inclusive for all. We have to grow in this space. And if you're in the same company with people who look exactly like you, all male, all female, all African American, all white, whatever it is, you're not growing, you're not learning. You have to diversify the people who you're with. And you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room, okay? You surround yourself with people who have different backgrounds and different skill sets, because that's going to make your program grow.
Awesome. And Sherlana, what's a piece of advice if there was someone trying to start an esports team that wanted to have the diversity? What's a piece of advice that you would give them? Since you're about to kick off starting an all-female esports team, what's some advice that you would give someone that's trying to do that?
I think for starters, it's looking for, obviously, you want to have a good skill set, But also, I think to a lot of the other panel members' points, having a diverse background as well. I think it's really important for people to consider all walks of life, all ages. There's a lot of ageism that goes on sometimes in the industry. And so incorporating different age ranges, different diversity, of course, being inclusive in terms of the recruitment process, not just for the gaming team, but also for the supporting members around the team. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that work to help these teams perform at a high capacity, and it's really important that they're also diverse and inclusive as well. So I think that's really important to looking to build a team that's inclusive, that's diverse, that has different backgrounds, different ages, different sexes, different cultures, all coming together to to work in this space. And I think it's very possible. Some of the challenges that I've personally seen is that, for example, looking to start the female team, I've had people tell me, I don't know how well that's going to be received. And I think there's a huge part of it is just education and changing that mentality set. It doesn't always have to be all males that are playing a game for the team to be good. So considering all those points and looking at building teams that are inclusive, that are diverse, and come from different skill sets is going to really what's going to push this industry further. So I think
Totally agree.
that's really important.
And Snow White, from a large corporation perspective, can you share with us kind of the same question, what Dell is doing in that area as well? What's a piece of advice that you would give to someone that's looking to diversify their company?
Yeah, so I think we are talking about having diverse representation in the entity, but I think it's also important to have, what Dell does is we have something called ERGs, or Employee Resource Group, where like-minded individuals come together to learn about a topic, or just find someone that looks like them, or someone they identify with. And so I think that's important too, to have a safe place where you can go and meet as a group. So I love that an all-girls team, that she's starting an all-girls team, because sometimes females want to talk about different things or have different interests, and they want to share different experiences with other females, and maybe it's not something they want to share with everyone else. We have a Black Networking Alliance group, we have a Pride group, we have a Veterans group, we have a Planet group that's involved with the environment. So I would always encourage an organization to look at what kind of ERGs could you develop that gives people a safe space to come and share. But then also, if you wanted to learn more about a specific ERG, it's open to all, and so that you can join it too. So that would be another piece that I think I would love all organizations to have an ERG to incorporate it in their place of work.
Awesome. And Kyle, what's a piece of advice you would give to someone that has a disability that's looking for that accessibility in gaming?
My piece of advice is just to kind of like test your setup. I think there's a lot of trial and error, and to be adaptive in what you're trying to do in everything in life, not just gaming, but from a person with a disability, there takes a lot of trial and error, and you may do something one way, and then it may not work, and then you just gotta try it again. So like my whole PC setup, it's been like mimicked after a laptop, and that's all come like we built together. My touchpad is like Velcro to a piece of cardboard that sits on my desk, so it's all about trial and error and trying to get the best whatever fits for you. And if people like suggest things that may be better, you try those out. And if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. You go back to how you are. But it's always take it each day at a time and try to do what's best for you to be. If you want to be as independent as possible, to do the best you can.
All right, and we'll wrap up this panel by letting everybody tell where they can find you and where they can find your organization. And we'll kick off with you, Kyle, if you tell everyone where they can find you online.
Yes, definitely. So everywhere on social medias, One Hand Mostly, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, One Hand Mostly. And then if you want to email me, it's onehmostly@gmail.com.
One Hand Mostly. All right, and Snow White, same question. You want to tell everyone where they can find you or more about Dell Technologies and Alienware?
Sure. So my email is probably the easiest one to remember. It is snow.white@dell.com. And we do have all kinds of esports resources for those that are looking to set up a program or want to make sure that they are have a DEI component to their esports program. And we also have a Discord if you want to join. We have a bunch of schools communicating, but it's a Dell Technology Esports for Dell Technologies Esports for Education Discord, and it's open to anyone to join. And if you want to share or ask questions of other high ed and K-12s that are setting up esports.
Awesome. Again, a shout out to Dell. They rock.
Thank you.
And Sherlana, same question. Tell everyone where they can find you online.
I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I got YouTube, of course. I'm also streaming on Vigo Live on Twitch, as well as YouTube and Facebook Gaming. So you guys can keep up with me, Sherlana, Sherlana. And you can also catch me every Saturday mornings at 10:30 a.m. on MusicBiz TV. You can check your local listings. And yeah.
Awesome. Bradford, same question for you. Tell people where they can find your organization and where they can find information about you as well.
So again, our organization is TechSEF, Texas Scholastic Esports Federation. You can go to the website, TechSEF.org for information about our organization. You can also email me, Bradford, BRADFORD, @techsef.org. And you can also follow me on Twitter. That's @EdTechTinker for all your information on esports and digital integration.
Awesome. AJ, same question to you.
Yeah, so you can find anything Special Olympics on SOTX.org if you're here in the state of Texas. Pretty much every state, if you're watching this around the country, has their own program. But for those of you here in Texas, SOTX.org has all of our information, upcoming competitions, upcoming esports events. Anything that we can possibly offer is on there. And then personally, you can reach out to me at BATISTE@SOTX.org. I'd love to get you connected and love to get you involved in what we're doing. And then we're on all the social media as well as Special Olympics Texas.
Awesome. Danny, same question.
For sure. I'm an educator at heart, so I always like to leave with a tip. Imposter syndrome is real, but it's not debilitating. There's been many times where I feel like I'm in a room and I was the only person that looked like the person of me in that room, but ultimately I utilize that as an advantage. And I feel like if everybody in this room, if you're ever in that position, you can use it to your advantage just as much. You can provide a new, sweet, awesome, engaging insight and perspective that can help any organization grow. Always keep this in mind. In order to be able to reach out to us, you can visit esposure.gg. You also can be able to leverage LinkedIn, Danny Martin, not to just connect with me, but to connect with the individuals that I connect with, to figure out what's going on in the space, who's doing, who's moving and shaking. Ultimately, utilize technology to empower yourself.
Awesome, awesome. Well, our next panel is at 3 p.m., console versus PC and the growth of mobile gaming. That'll be our last panel of the day, but let's give these panelists a big round of applause. Y'all are awesome. Thank y'all for joining us. Now let's go back to gaming.